Democratic Georgia gubernatorial candidate and party darling Stacey Abrams received major pushback after she posted a photo of herself maskless amid a sea of school kids. Look at this picture right there. There she is, no mask. Look at all those kids wearing masks. What is she doing? She's probably holding her breath, right? Yeah, that's what Eric Garcetti said he did. He held his breath, so it's fine. She since deleted the photograph, which was taken at Atlanta's Glenwood School, and the Abrams campaign put out a statement saying it's shameful that our opponents are using a Black History Month reading event for Georgia children as the impetus for a false political attack. And it's pitiful and predictable that our opponents continue to look for opportunities to distract from their failed records when it comes to protecting public health during the pandemic. I don't even know of a statement that's more hypocritical and insane and completely tone deaf than this statement that was put out by Stacey Abrams. How dare you criticize me while I am reading about Black History Month to these masked up kids while I'm not wearing a mask? This looks a lot like, it reminds me a lot of BLM protests, where when people were out there protesting lockdowns or protesting masks, they were told that they were murderers, that they were killing grandma, that they were, how horrible they were. But then when the protesters went out and massive amounts of people swarmed the streets, public health officials actually issued statements saying, it's fine. Racism is a worse health epidemic, a worse health pandemic or problem or crisis than a circulating virus, that they were telling us all that we would end up killing grandma. So it's okay for grandma to die if she catches the virus because you were out protesting against racism. Or it's okay now, I guess, with Stacey Abrams for grandma to die if you gave her the virus because you were at least reading history books, you were teaching children about Black History Month. I guess that's an okay reason for grandma to die. But if you want to give grandma a hug, you want to celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving with her, or a birthday, or go to a wedding, no, that's not good enough. You are a monster. I mean, that it just totally toned up. And then for her to say they're using this as a political opportunity for their failed policies. I'm sorry, the failed policies, as we now know, were Democratic policies. Johns Hopkins came out with an entire study saying, guess what? Lockdowns did nothing. In fact, they were worse than doing nothing. They actually harmed people. They actually were so bad, we never recommend you ever do this again. So we now know that Democrat policies of locking people away, locking people down, we haven't even gotten to the atrocious policy of forcing people to die alone away from their family members. That still gets me to this day. I cannot believe the inhumanity that we robbed people of the opportunity to be with their loved ones when they were dying. That won't go down in history as being a good thing for Democrats. Democrats have just completely lost it. Governor Brian Kemp responded to the photo saying that Stacey, quote, Stacey Abrams wants state government mask mandates for Georgians and their children, but it looks like they wouldn't apply when she's attending a photo op. And of course, Abrams is not alone. Here is Barack Obama. There he is, maskless, spotted speaking to masked construction workers outside of the construction of his new multi-million-dollar home in Hawaii. So again, rules for me, rules for thee and not for me. That is what we're hearing. And this just adds to the public list of officials that we've seen, or the list of public officials that we've seen violate their own mask mandates, like Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom, London Breed. The hypocrisy of these Democrats has been throughout the pandemic, and it just doesn't end. It doesn't stop. They just continue to tell everybody else, this is what you have to do or else. And they themselves don't even want to follow these rules because they themselves don't believe it. So now, of course, all of these Democratic politicians, now remember, Republicans aren't hypocrites about this because they're not the ones saying, go do this, go do that, or else, you're killing grandma. They're not saying that. And so they're not the hypocrites in this situation. It all pretty much falls on the Democrats. And they're running for cover. And so CNN is, of course, giving it to them in the form of legal analyst and Dr. Leana Wen, who has been one of the staunchest pro-force mandate champions. And even she's now starting to change her tune on CNN because you just can't continue on with this, thumping your fist down on the desk like Leana Wen does and says, we need to force the airline, you can't have domestic travel unless you're vaccinated. We need to be doing that. Everybody needs to be masking. There needs to be mandates. She's been the staunchest pro-mandate person, and now she's starting to change. She said on CNN, in the coming days, we'll see many governors and local leaders, maybe she tweeted this out. In the coming days, we'll see many governors and local leaders lift mask mandates. This is the right step and marks a needed shift. Get this, she says, from government-imposed requirement to individual decision. Oh, Lena Wen. Oh, she is the worst. And now she's saying, well, this is a needed step to go from government-imposed requirements to individual decision. It helps to preserve public health authority when it's needed again. Guess what, Lena? It's gone, and you helped destroy that. So don't come crying next time around when people don't want to listen to the public health authorities, when practically everything they've told us has been wrong. And we now know that. And many of us that criticized what they were doing and said, this isn't going to work, were shunned, were demonized, were labeled misinformation. I have a strike on my YouTube channel that I can't get rid of. Why is the strike there? Because I reported back in April of 2021 that the Pfizer vaccine seemed to cause heart problems for some people. They said that was misinformation, only a couple months later to say, oh, okay, it turns out that it does cause some myocarditis. I still can't get the strike off my channel. And that is because of these experts that were going around on CNN that were leading the CDC, the clown show, leading the CDC and the FDA and the government, and saying that, these are the things that we need to do in order to stop this virus. And if you just do it, then this will end. Your life will go back to normal. And we have not seen that. We have more viral spread this wave than we've ever had. And that is after even being boosted. You look at Israel's numbers. Israel's numbers are absolutely, there's no, what's the explanation for this? I mean, when you look at their numbers, they're in the highest wave they've ever seen. They're now giving out 4 doses of the vaccine, and they've had more deaths. They're about equal to their highest wave, and they've certainly had more cases than they've ever had before. So stop the nonsense. This is why the public health officials why people don't trust public health officials, and why people aren't trusting politicians, because they're going around claiming they're holding their breath while taking photographs and saying there's zero, Eric Garcetti saying, I held my breath. So there's zero chance of you getting infected when I held my breath. And it's like, Eric Garcetti, you were vaccinated fully and you still ended up with the virus after you were telling all of us, and still we can't go into restaurants without showing our papers. And you say that you know what it takes to not infect or be infected with the virus. Pretty sure you don't know. You were fully vaccinated and still you ended up with the virus. So you don't know. You have no idea what it takes to stop the virus. Stop talking while you're holding your breath. You keep holding your breath. No, I was going to say that. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for watching the show. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Some of the content that you see is not on YouTube. It is only exclusively on Rumble and Rockfin. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, email them into me, kim@kimiverson.com. Be sure to join my locals community. That is where you're going to get more interaction with me, live streams, and interaction with one another. It's a great place to feel like you've got allies, I would say. So join me on my locals community. Here's what it looks like when you get there. And that link is down below. Thank you guys so much for watching.